Hello. Any chance you can hear me? All right. We'll see how this works today.
All right.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi.
So this week's habit is Abhyanga self-massage. It is seriously one of my favorites. How do you feel about it?
Love it. Totally.
What's your routine or experience with this habit?
You know what? I started out with this, massaging my feet at night with some almond and lavender oil, just trying to get into a routine to help me sleep better. And I just realized how good it made me feel. Yeah. And obviously the lavender did help with sleep. And then I just got into the habit of putting it all over my body. And I do it in the morning when I get out of the shower.
Yeah.
And I find that it makes my skin feel so good. And I feel so, it really enlivens me and it wakes me up. And I find it really nourishing.
Are you someone who puts it like every square inch?
I don't put it every square inch, but I don't usually do the bottoms of my feet in the morning, because then I'm going to be sliding everywhere unless I put my socks on.
Yeah.
And I do oil my head at night. I don't do that during the day, obviously. I don't put it in my ears. I hadn't heard that until you mentioned it. So I'm kind of curious about that. But I do put it in my... Yeah, so tell me about that. I don't know.
Oh, just like when it's windy and it feels like it's, I don't know, like there's lots of dryness and wind and stuff like that all over the place. I feel like the ears are really good. Yeah, and inside of your nose too, if that feels dry. Those are some of my favorites. Do you just put a little bit in your palm and rub it on, or do you use a little squirt bottle?
Yeah, I totally oil the inside of my nose. And I actually put oil in my neti pot. Just a couple of drops I find even now with it so dry, and I have a humidifier going, but it's not enough to just put it up my nose. I need to actually put a little bit through. Yeah, and I find it makes a huge difference.
And what kind of oil are you using for that? Or
you're cutting out.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Now I can. I use sesame oil.
Okay.
No, I don't. I was using sesame oil. Sorry. I use almond oil.
Yeah.
I found that sesame was creating too much heat for me. And so I recently just switched back because it was just, I actually had a rash all over my chest.
From sesame.
Yeah.
It is a warmer, isn't it? A warmer oil for everything.
It is. Yeah. And I had switched for winter, and this is the first time I've done it in like 8 years. I thought, I'll do sesame for winter. Yeah. And I had this rash on my chest for like 3 weeks. And so I've switched back to almond. And and I use that head to toes. I use it on my face. I use it. I put coconut in my hair though.
Coconut in your hair. So that's one that I don't do very much, is I just feel like I have such thick, crazy hair that just putting oil in my hair is insane. It feels insane for me, but it's, tell me about that practice for you.
You know what? I only do it once a week. And I just do a tiny bit and I massage it into my scalp.
Yeah.
And then I sleep with it on, and then I wash my hair in the morning. And I feel like this is something that my teacher told me to do years ago, and use amla oil. And I feel like, again, it was for sleep and to really calm that vata for grounding. He never told me what it was for. But I still do it once.
Though. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And to really just, if you're feeling kind of agitated before you go to sleep, doing your scalp and doing your feet can be really calming. So I do it once a week because I find, my hair gets way too greasy.
Yeah.
And you don't need a lot. So I was doing like a whole like handful and, you know, doing that whole thing. And now I use probably like not even a tablespoon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I find it really helpful for sure.
Now, a lot of the, I don't know, the stuff you read about Abhyanga says that you would do it and then have a shower. And you say you do it after a shower. I'm the same. I do it after a shower.
Oh, you just cut out. You do it and then have a shower? Is that what you said?
No, yeah, that's what you hear about and read about is people showering after they put the oil on. I do it the same as you. I do oil after my shower. What do you think the differences are, or have you tried the other way?
I did try it the other way. I find I would spend more time doing it when I would do it first and then shower. But I found it wasn't always so practical because then I felt like I wanted to moisturize my body again once I got out of the shower. So then it became this like double thing. And I feel like in Calgary, it's so dry. And with that Vata element, I think that warming the body up with a warm shower, and my teacher always said that showers and that flowing water helps to awaken the prana in you.
Yeah.
And we do that first thing in the morning before we do any of our practices. So I was just taught that it awakens everything. And then I feel like putting the oil on and afterwards just kind of really gets things flowing more. So in my mind, it works.
Yeah. And I found the same. I found that the after the shower, maybe it is because we live in Calgary where we don't have any humidity or anything to help our bodies. Our bodies are like, I want every drop of that oil. Do not wash it off. Do not rinse it off. Yeah. Now, last go around, so the group has heard me talk about some of the innocent bystanders that get pulled into this habit, like your pillowcases if you put oil in your hair, or your towels if you're oiling. What are your habits around, keeping your things that are coming in contact with the oil, whether it's your bathrobe, your towels, your bed sheets? How do you manage that?
So when I do it at night, I do have like 3 kind of pairs of thicker socks that I will wear if I've oiled my feet so that I'm not staining my bed sheets. I've done that a million times and now I just stick to a couple pairs of socks.
Yeah.
And I have a towel, one towel that I use for my pillow if I put oil in my hair at night before I go to bed. And again, I'm not using as much oil as I used to, so it's not getting everywhere. And in terms of clothing, so because I do this first thing in the morning, I have special clothes that I wear for my yoga and my meditation practice.
Yeah.
And so I usually, I oil myself once I get out of the shower, and then I do like my neti and my tongue scraping and my teeth brushing and all of that, and then I put clothes on. So I let my body like kind of the oil sink in before I put my clothes on.
Yeah.
And if those that I'm doing yoga and get oil on, then I'm okay with that. But I kind of stick to, again, I've got a couple of, things I wear, and so it's okay.
Your post-oil clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that the washroom is warm and I kind of let my body, absorb the oil and it feels good. So.
Did you ever have any hesitation about oiling? I mean, I know they say that some people just really are adverse to just almost touching their own skin, like oiling their own body. They don't have a practice, or some people can even be averse to it.
Yeah. You know what I found? Like, I've been trying to get my sister to do this and she's totally averse to it. She doesn't like massages. She doesn't like any of that kind of thing. For me, I found that it was like an act of self-love. So it was about getting in touch with my body and being okay with, the cellulite on my legs or whatever that might be, showing up, and just honoring that and just being okay with my body and showing it love and nourishing it through there's so much research on how beneficial massages and touches, right?
Yeah.
And so we can do that for ourselves, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Like some days I'm, just wiping it on almost, right?
Yeah.
But other days it is more of a massage. It depends on, how much time I have and how loving and, relaxed I'm feeling, right? But usually it warms me up and it just makes me feel good on the inside, right? So I look at it as an act of self-care and self-love.
Yeah. So some days you can put a lot of that self-care mentally into the practice, and other days it can be kind of rote. So even on the days where you feel like you're just sort of like doing the motions, do you feel like there's still, I don't know, like body memory or anything around the whole intention?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Because sometimes we need to fake it till we make it, right?
Yeah.
The days that we don't feel it fully, then we go through the motions. But there remains a continuity in the practice, right? Mm-hmm. And it is about ritual. And some days the feelings are really there and sometimes they're not, and that's okay. But you can still do the practice without being fully intentional and meaningful, right?
Yeah. And your body, I think, still gets the benefits, the cellular benefits, even if you're not quite as sweet and loving in your intention as you are other days.
Totally. And I think too that, again, it's that kind of cumulative effect that the more you do it, the more it's sinking into your system on that cellular level, and you do start to develop that feeling. And we call it bhava. It's a feeling that arises within us. It's not something that we have to really even think about. It just starts to percolate and like bubble up, and that starts to kind of fill us, and that's what kind of feeds our practice and any of these rituals or anything, right?
I love that word bhava. So where else do you find that in your practice besides Abhyanga, besides the sort of reward of Abhyanga?
Mm-hmm, totally.
Is there other places that you see it, that you feel it?
The bhava, the feeling?
Yeah.
You're cutting out on me.
Oh, sorry. Any good? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah. I didn't get your question though.
Is there other practices or places where you feel that bhava other than Abhyanga?
Totally.
Okay, what are they?
I think that's been my whole kind of approach to my morning practice. It is a ritual. It is my time. And so some days it is harder to get out of bed. Sometimes it is harder to get everything going, but it's trying to just be present with that and allow it to unfold in a really kind and loving way, and allow those feelings to arise in me, that when I feel good, I want to do all these things, and it supports me and it supports my whole day. And so some mornings it is fake it, till you make it. And other mornings it's just like, this is the most glorious thing, right? Yeah. And my boyfriend the other day was like, you're so annoyingly happy in the morning, go away. And I'm like, it's like it bubbles up inside of you, and it's like, it feels good to take care of yourself and to nurture yourself. And nobody sees a lot of this stuff. It's very internal, but all the little external things help to create that internal feeling. And that's what we're cultivating ideally, and eventually it's an internal thing, even though we're doing all these external things.
Yeah. And vice versa, right? Vice versa as well. Yeah.
Oh,
the internal feelings create how you're able to be in your external world, right?
Totally.
So it just like festers or grows in there, and all of a sudden you have a better day. You're nicer to people. You're more joyful in your day because of, it's weird to think of how all this stuff connects, that, oil can, be something that is part of having a more joyful day. Doesn't make sense, and yet it's true. Yeah.
And it's true. And that's one of the things my teacher said was like, these feelings will linger.
Yeah.
And so it's like they just stay with you. But the more you do it, it's like, again, you're building up those reserves, and it's that cumulative effect that it's in you. And so even the days when you don't got it 100%, there's still something overflowing because it's in you. It's you're cultivating that, right?
Yes. 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 Awesome. Okay, let's wrap that one up, Chrissy. And we'll share that tidbit with everyone about Abhyanga self-massage this week as they're learning to practice it for themselves.